Edgar Allan Poe. Isn't this wonderful? This kind of tacky Gothic Art Nouveau typewriting on the front cover of my complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe, as many of you will know, is, or was, I should say, he's been dead for some time. Died when he was only 40, so this book could have been a bit thicker had he lived for longer. But he was an American poet and writer of short stories, particularly horror fiction, which is something that he pioneered. It's really pretty hard to imagine horror fiction being the same as it is today if Edgar Allan Poe hadn't started writing it. And this is true of the morbid nature of his poetry, the sort of macabre nature of his poetry as well. I really should have done this video on Halloween, but I've either been being very lazy with poetry or very, very proactive with other things. So I've neglected that. But this poem's good at any time of year. Now his most famous poem is The Raven, but it's not actually my favourite poem of Poe's. My favourite one is this one called Alone, which, you know, he's a very macabre poet, so goths love him, but this poem even more so because it's that, oh, I'm teenage angst, no one understands me type of Nine Inch Nails crap. So check this out, goth emo kids, because this is goth as fuck. This is Alone by Edgar Allan Poe. From childhood's hour I have not been, as others were I have not seen, as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From that same source I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at that same tone. And all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life was drawn, from every depth of good and ill the mystery that binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form when all the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.